Hey, let's talk about your first start for England. How amazing was that experience for you? What was it like?
Yeah, it was incredible. Obviously, to get the nod the day before, know that I was starting my first competitive game was fantastic. And I think it's been 4 years since my last game, so it's been a journey to get back to that level, and one that I've thoroughly enjoyed, and bouncing back. So it was nice.
Yeah, and I know your family got a chance to come out. You made accommodations for them to get out to watch you at the game. What kind of family you got? Is it that they're calling you, congratulating you after the match? Or does, like, you know, someone grab the phone and start talking about all the mistakes you might have made or how you can play better?
My brother's one of them where he'll mention the mistakes that I make. Oh, this could have been better, that could have been better. And then my mum, she's fantastic. She's just buzzing and just delighted. So, no, it was good. They were over the moon and they were proud, so it was nice to have them there.
So cool.
Beautiful
Great that you got to share that. Moms are the best, though,
Yeah.
right? You know, they're the best hype men ever.
My mother would be like, this is what you did wrong right off the bat. A little different.
Dean, I'm curious, when you're representing your country as opposed to playing for your club, does it feel different when you're preparing for a match? Is there like a little element of maybe more butterflies in the stomach when you're on an international stage? What's that like for you?
I think you prepare for all games exactly the same. When you take the emotion out, it's only a game of football. Obviously, it's such a big thing to play for your country, of course, but I think we've been around the game long enough to know that you've just got to be able to prepare like a normal game, play like you do in normal games, and everything looks after itself, and then you take more praise after a great win, and obviously more scrutiny if things don't go well, but that's just football, and that's the game we play and we love. So there's so many highs, there's some downs as well, but the highs, it was certainly a high the other night, and it's been a fantastic week after that, and built loads of confidence, which has been nice.
Obviously, you're playing on Crystal Palace. I want to take it back, though. You've been on loan at different clubs, all at different levels within the pyramid over there in England. To be able to get back into the English national team, what is it that you attribute that to? Because as a striker or as an attacking player, you think, all right, if I go out and score some goals, I'll get noticed. What do you think is the reason you've gotten noticed and you've been given that opportunity?
I think for me, like, the key was when I was growing up, it was if I'm playing, I knew I was good enough to obviously play on that stage. I think the only times I haven't really been called up is when I didn't play so much at Man United, and I come out of the system for a while, which is obviously why the gap was so big between the two games. But I think when I'm playing, obviously I can show what I'm capable of, and I can get in the mix and give myself a good opportunity to get games.
Well, Dean, there's a new man in charge of the Three Lions in Thomas Tuchel. Very curious to get your thoughts on this hire. What do you make of the new manager?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I think it's a fantastic appointment. I think he's a winner. He'll come in and he'll do his utmost to obviously win us the World Cup. And you know that the games can be decided in 2-3 minutes, and obviously a man on the touchline to keep his calm and make them big decisions in them big moments, he's the man for that job. So no, he comes with a great reputation, and all the boys are really looking forward to working with him.
All right, obviously, you've got now a German in charge of the national team. Another international is that you're surrounded by a couple Americans, huh? In particular, you got Chris Richard in front of you, and you got Matt Turner behind you. What's the most American thing that they've done that surprised you?
Honestly, like, Matt sometimes says soccer, and I don't like it. And we always, and it's just not the way in England, of course. So it's just. So I think he maybe mentioned cleats as well, and I didn't have a clue what he was on about. Can you pass me my cleats? And I wasn't sure what he was on about. I was going to pass him a toothbrush, I think. So, but yeah, he's the big, yeah, the big silver.
Amazing. What about Chris Richards? Because we've had him on the show a few times, and to me, he's just one of the most laid back, like almost quintessential American guys.
He's very swaggy.
He's kind of swaggy. He's just like low key. What are your impressions of Chris Richards?
I think with both the American boys, they've got so much energy. They always seem so much more happy than English people, and day to day they're bouncing, laughing and joking straight away, and thinking like, are you never annoyed at anything? Do you know what I mean? They always seem to want to play and be happy, and they're great lads to have around, and yeah, they bring some good banter as well, which is nice.
So my friends in England are always like, you Americans, you're so positive. And I'm like, why are you the opposite? Enjoy yourself a little bit. When you talk about some of the Americans on the pitch, obviously you have a lot of different players from all over the world that play with you. Some superstars. In fact, this season has not been so great. In particular, you got rid of one of the best players in Olise. How much has that loss been? How hard has that been on the team?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, if you lose someone like Michael, it's going to have a period of time where you're getting used to life without him. But obviously, we've brought players in. They're getting to know the system now. And the best is certainly to come for Palace this season, for sure. Like, we're nowhere near where we need to be, of course. And the performance level isn't at its highest. And listen, like, the reality is we brought new players in, getting players up to speed. Things take time, but I'm looking forward to seeing what potential we can reach this season with the team we've got, because we've got a great bunch of lads, great manager, and there's so much. We're so optimistic, even though we've had a tough start. So we're regrouping, and we'll be looking forward to Monday night.
Yeah, you guys went on such an incredible run at the end of last season. It was so much fun to watch. I want to ask you about a topic that we have been talking about a lot lately, and that is schedule congestion. So next week, Carabao Cup returns, and you were just on international duty. And so we're always interested in getting the players' perspective on this topic and how many matches you guys are actually logging in a calendar year. How do you feel about all of these matches and the toll that it takes on you guys?
Personally, I want to play as many games as I can in the year, but as I say, I'm a goalkeeper, so I don't have to run around chasing the ball. So that's me being truthfully honest, so I can sit there and say that. Obviously, I understand with the lads that are in Europe and that, it's obviously a big toll on their bodies. So yeah, so I agree with some things they're saying. Obviously, because there is a lot of games for them to play, especially if they're playing international European competitions, Premier League, it's so intense. And obviously they can break down within that. And we've lost some players already this season through that. So maybe it's something that needs to get looked at.
How different are these cup competitions, like in particular Carabao Cup? Is there a different mentality, different energy going into some of these matches?
Yeah, obviously, with the manager being ambitious like he is, we'll want to go far in the competitions this season, which is nice. And I think the earlier rounds we used to try and get the good feeling, because we weren't doing so great in the league, but we got a good feeling from the cup competitions. And then now it'll be probably to see how far we can go and see whether we can test ourselves against the best. And as you say, knockout football, anything can happen. So we've just got to be prepared on the night and know that it's a one-off, and we've got to play with courage.
I read something kind of interesting about you. I need to know if this is true. You hold 2 Guinness Book World Records. One of them is for getting dressed the fastest, which congratulations. If I did that, I'd still be sitting on the couch waiting for my wife to get ready. And second, it's the most headed balls back and forth in 60 seconds. You have 91.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah, how is that possible?
How?
I don't know. I actually can't believe we managed to break that. It was me and Jay Clark-Salters, actually. And to be fair, the chemistry was so good that day. It was like magnets from one head to another. It was incredible.
Just in the zone.
Again, there'd be absolutely no chance of it happening. But we hold the record, and it's yet to be beaten. So we'll give ourselves a big pat on the back for that.
How far were you from...
Yeah, what was the distance?
I'm going to say 6 yards, potentially. No, maybe not 3 by looking at that.
Oh my
3 by looking at the video there. But yeah, it was an incredible achievement.
So, okay, you get like a certificate that says you are the Guinness Book of World Record holders.
Yes.
That's
got a certificate.
unbelievable.
I believe we go in the Guinness World the records book, so that's incredible.
All right. This is the other one. So you have the record for getting dressed the fastest. So, okay, walk me through this. What's the order that you went in here?
So many years ago, I actually don't know. I knew that I left my gloves till last, which was very tricky. But I suppose if you put them on first, it would go downhill. But it's getting the shin pads in and everything into place because I had to look like I was going out to play as well. So they were quite harsh on me when they were judging.
Was this your idea? Were you like, I'm gonna go for this?
This was actually not my idea. Believe it or not, it was the best player appearance I ever did. Because obviously I got 2 certificates and obviously a tale I can tell.
Jeez, how many attempts did it take to get the header back and forth thing? Was it on the first try?
We only had 3 attempts. That was the maximum. If we didn't get it, we weren't allowed to win.
That's so impressive.
It's
so
incredible.
random.
It's
so
incredible.
random and so impressive.
Incredible. We got to think of another record for you to break.
Yeah, fire it at me.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it for
Maybe
sure.
how many cleats you can get in a pile.
Good one, Alexis. Dean, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It was a real pleasure chatting with you, and best of luck on Monday against Nottingham Forest.
Thank you so much. Take care, guys.